The next bill on the calendar for the day is House File 4137. The clerk will report the bill.
House File number 4137, number 8 on the calendar for the day, an act relating to public safety, the first engrossment.
I recognize the author of the bill, the member from Ramsey, Representative Pinto.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, House File 4137 addresses a significant concern with our state's harassment and stalking laws. Portions of these laws were struck down as unconstitutional last fall by the state Supreme Court. A short time later, the State Court of Appeals struck down another portion. And the same reasoning that they used may well be used to strike down the rest of the law as well. And it should go without saying for all of us, this is scary stuff. We need to have a way to hold harassers and stalkers accountable. And at the moment, we've got one arm tied behind our back, and soon we'll have two. So this bill fixes the concerns addressed by the courts. It does so by drawing on some language in federal law that was quoted favorably in the court opinions. It increases the requirement that the offenders intend to be taken into account, and increases the standard that would be used, and tightens the laws in ways that respond to the court's concerns. I want to thank Representative ONeill for working through some language concerns in the bill, and thank Representative Moeller for her wise counsel in putting it together as well. As I said, it's really important that we address this, and I think we have a very strong bill to do so.
There are no amendments at the desk. The clerk will give the bill its third reading.
Third reading, House File number 4137.
Third reading, discussion. The member from Wright, Representative ONeill.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. I just want to let the body know that there were concerns when the bill came to a couple of our committees. And I just want to thank Representative Pinto for working through those concerns with me. It took some time, but I think we got it right. And those that were in opposition to it are now supportive of the bill. And I'll just briefly let the members know quickly what those couple changes were that brought us into a place where all can agree, including Violence Free Minnesota are in agreement with the language as it stands, as are some of the gun groups out there. So that's an interesting combination of folks that all came together to put together language that actually works for everybody. It was apparent that we needed to clearly define what substantial emotional distress is, because it's not defined in our statutes, and this was pulled from some federal language. And so we did define that. And it's a pretty high bar. It has language like seeking psychotherapy, which of course is our word in our statutes to define if you're seeking counsel, therapy, or counseling. It also talks about that you've been diagnosed with a mental health condition and some other parameters that are similar to that, like loss of sleep or appetite, which is a part of a diagnosis of major depressive disorder. It also has a component within that talks about that you have a loss of concentration that results in a loss of productivity. Again, a subpart of a mental health condition that can be diagnosed. So it gives the court some parameters as to what substantial emotional distress actually is. The other thing that I would point out is that because this has a tie to the prohibited person statutes, it was very important for all of the parties at the table to come to agreement on language. And we did go into some existing statute that talked about that one merely needed to possess a dangerous weapon in the commission of the crime, as in you were committing the crime and you happen to possess it somewhere. So you could have a can of gasoline in your garage, or you could have knives in your house, but you didn't actually have to use it in the commission of the crime. And so we updated that language so it's more reflective of the rest of the statute. So now it basically says it's used in the commission of a crime. So if you use a dangerous weapon in commission of the crime, it is then a felony. So I want to thank Representative Pinto, and I would encourage a green vote. Thank you, members.
Further discussion. Representative Pinto.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and members. As Representative ONeill made reference, you do have a letter in front of you that's provided by Violence Free Minnesota and the Minnesota Coalition Against Sexual Assault, our state's leading advocacy organizations for victims of gender violence, and they're urging support, and it also has the support of the Minnesota Coalition of Minnesota County Attorneys Association, pardon me. I do want to just give a shout out to Ben Johnson and in-house research, who did some really terrific work in addressing some of the issues that Representative ONeill referenced. And with that, members, again, this is a really important issue, and I would urge you to provide a green vote. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Hearing no further discussion, the clerk will take the roll on House File 4137.
Acom.
Acom, aye.
Acom, aye. Albright.
Albright, aye.
Albright, aye. Anderson.
Anderson, aye.
Anderson, aye. Backer.
Backer, aye.
Backer, aye. Bonner.
Bonner, aye.
Bonner, aye. Barr. Barr, no. Baker.
Baker, aye.
Baker, aye. Becker, Finn.
Becker, Finn, aye.
Becker, Finn, aye. Bennett.
Bennett, aye.
Bennett, aye. Bernardi.
Bernardi, aye.
Bernardi, aye. Bierman.
Bierman, aye.
Bierman, aye. Bow. Bow, pass. Brand.
Aye.
Brand, aye. Cantrell.
Cantrell, aye.
Cantrell, aye. Carlson, A.
Carlson, A. Aye.
Carlson, A. Aye. Carlson, L.
Carlson, L. Aye.
Carlson, L. Aye. Christensen.
Christensen, aye.
Christensen, aye. Claflin.
Laughlin, aye.
Claflin, aye. Considine.
Considine, aye.
Considine, aye. Daniels.
Daniels, aye.
Daniels, aye. Doubt. Doubt, aye. Davids. Davids, aye. Davney.
Daphne, aye.
Davney, aye. Dean.
Dean, aye.
Dean, aye. Damath.
Damath, aye.
Damath, aye. Detmer. Detmer, aye. Drazkowski. Drazkowski. Eklund.
Eklund, aye.
Eklund, aye. Edelson.
Edelson, aye.
Edelson, aye. Elkins.
Elkins, aye.
Elkins, aye. Erickson. Erickson, aye. Fabian.
Fabian, aye.
Fabian, aye. Fisher.
Fisher, aye.
Fisher, aye. Franzen.
Franson, aye.
Franzen, aye. Freiberg. Freiberg, aye. Garofalo.
Garofalo, aye.
Garofalo, aye. Gomez.
Gomez, aye.
Gomez, aye. Green. Green, aye. Grossel.
Grossel, aye.
Grossel, aye. Gruenhagen.
Gruenhagen, aye.
Gruenhagen, aye. Gunther.
Gunther, aye.
Gunther, aye. Haley. Haley. Halverson.
Halverson, aye.
Halverson, aye. Hamilton.
Hamilton, aye.
Hamilton, aye. Hanson.
Hanson, aye.
Hanson, aye. Hassan.
Hassan, aye.
Hassan, aye. Hausman.
Hausman, aye.
Hausman, aye. Heinrich.
Heinrich, aye.
Heinrich, aye. Heinzman.
Heinzman, aye.
Heinzman, aye. Herr.
Her, aye.
Herr, aye. Hertos.
Hertos, aye.
Hertos, aye. Hornstein.
Hornstein, aye.
Hornstein, aye. Howard.
Howard, aye.
Howard, aye. Hewitt.
Hewitt, aye.
Hewitt, aye. Johnson. Johnson, aye. Jordan.
Jordan, aye.
Jordan, aye. Jurgens.
Jurgens, aye.
Jurgens, aye. Keel.
Keel, aye.
Keel, aye. Cleavorn.
Cleavorn, aye.
Cleavorn, aye. Cagle.
Cagle, aye.
Cagle, aye. Katuza-Watine.
Katiza, Watoon, aye.
Katiza-Watune, aye. Kosnick.
Cosmic, aye.
Kosnick, aye. Creshaw.
Grishaw, aye.
Creshaw, aye. Kunish-Podine.
Kunish, Podine, aye.
Kunish-Podine, aye. Lehman.
Lehman, aye.
Lehman, I. Lee.
Lee, aye.
Lee, I. Lesh.
Lesh, aye.
Lesh, I. Liebling.
Liebling, aye.
Liebling, I. Lean.
Lean, aye.
Lean, I. Lilly.
Lily, aye.
Lilly, I. Lippert.
Lippert, aye.
Lippert, I. Lislegard.
Listlegard, aye.
Lislegard, I. Long.
Long, aye.
Long, I. Lucero.
Lucero, yes.
Lucero, I. Lewick.
Lewick, aye.
Lewick, I. Mahoney.
Mahoney, aye.
Mahoney, I. Mann.
Man, aye.
Mann, I. Mariani.
Mariani, aye.
Mariani, I. Markwart.
Markwart, aye.
Markwart, I. Mason.
Mason, aye.
Mason, I. McDonald.
McDonald, aye.
McDonald, I. Mecklen.
Meckland, aye.
Mecklen, I. Miller.
Miller, aye.
Miller, I. Moeller.
Moeller, aye.
Moeller, I. Moran.
Moran, aye.
Moran, I. Morrison.
Morrison, aye.
Morrison, I. Munson.
Munson, no.
Munson, no. Murphy.
Murphy, aye.
Murphy, I. Nash.
Nash, aye.
Nash, I. Nelson, M.
Nelson, M, aye.
Nelson, M. I. Nelson, N.
Nelson, N, aye.
Nelson, N. I. New. New, I. Nor.
Nor, aye.
Nor, I. Nornis.
Nornis, aye.
Nornis, I. Novotny.
Novotny, aye.
Novotny, I. O'Driscoll.
O'Driscoll, aye.
O'Driscoll, I. Olson.
Olson, aye.
Olson, I. O'Neill.
O'Neill, aye.
O'Neill, I. Pulowski.
Pulowski, aye.
Pulowski, I. Purcell.
Purcell, aye.
Purcell, I. Petersburg.
Petersburg, aye.
Petersburg, I. Pearson.
Pearson, aye.
Pearson, I. Pinto.
Pinto, aye.
Pinto, I. Poppy.
Poppy, aye.
Poppy, I. Poston.
Poston, aye.
Poston, I. Pryor.
Pryor, aye.
Pryor, I. Quam.
Quam, aye.
Quam, I. Richardson.
Richardson, aye.
Richardson, I. Robbins. Robbins, I. Runbeck.
Runbeck, aye.
Runbeck, I. Sandell.
Sandell, aye.
Sandell, I. Sandsted.
Sandsted, aye.
Sandsted, I. Sauk.
Sauk, aye.
Sauk, I. Schumacher.
Schumacher, aye.
Schumacher, I. Schultz.
Schultz, aye.
Schultz, I. Scott.
Scott, aye.
Scott, I. Stevenson.
Stevenson, aye.
Stevenson, I. Sundin.
Sundin, aye.
Sundin, I. Swazinski.
Swazinski, aye.
Swazinski, I. Tabke.
Tabke, aye.
Tabke, I. Tice. Tice, I. Torkelson.
Torkelson, aye.
Torkelson, I. Erdahl.
Erdahl, aye.
Erdahl, I. Vang.
Vang, aye.
Vang, I. Vogel.
Vogel, aye.
Vogel, I. Wagenius.
Wagenius, aye.
Wagenius, I. Wozlowick.
Wozlowick, aye.
Wozlowick, I. West.
West, aye.
West, I. Winkler. Winkler, I. Walgamot.
Walgamot, aye.
Walgamot, I. Zhang J.
Zhang, aye.
Zhang J, I. Zhang T.
Zhang T, aye.
Zhang T, I. Joachim.
Joachim, aye.
Joachim, I. Speaker Hortman. Speaker Hortman, I. Bo. Bo, I. Drazkowski. Drazkowski.
Drazkowski, no.
Drazkowski, no. Haley.
Haley, aye.
Haley, I.
There being 131 ayes and 3 nays, the bill is passed and its title agreed to.